Hey, this is Miss JJ, Jacqueline Richardson, Deja, Jackie, whatever y'all call me. Today I want to do a video talking about selling your soul. Okay, because I think a lot of people don't know what selling their soul to the devil really is. So I wanted to touch base on that. Normally I get on my speaker podcast, but I decided to do a live video so y'all can hear me talk versus just listening to me. A lot of people tell me, oh, in order for you to become a platinum artist, you have to sell your soul. I don't believe in that, okay? Because I'm very religious. I tell people all the time I'm not a Christian because Christians is supposed to follow God totally, okay? And I'm just not there yet. I have some flaws, However, the meaning of selling your soul is doing whatever it takes to get you where you need to be. Okay? Now, you got some people that go out here and kill, steal, and do all kind of things just to make that platinum status. However, I didn't have to do none of that, and I made it to the gold status. Okay? And I feel blessed for just making it to the gold status. And I'm closer to the platinum status than people think that I am. However, no, you don't have to sell your soul. To me, I'm going to tell you what selling your soul to me is. When you're on drugs, you sold your soul. I don't care if it's pills, if it's cocaine, if it's even liquor, because you are dependent. When you're on drugs and drinking, you don't think the way you should be thinking, which is logical. In another video, we'll talk about logical thinking, but this one is just about selling your soul. Now, I want to talk about, some of the people that go out here and commit murders, killings, robberies, and then you ask them, well, why did they do it? And they'll say, oh, well, I got a family that I had to take care of, and I couldn't find a job, and I had to do what I had to do. Yeah. A lot of us think like that, but then you got a lot of us that don't. Some of us will find a way without selling our soul to make things worse for our family. Now, this goes out to a lot of the men because majority of the men, those will be the one that go out there and commit crimes to help their families because they can't get it from the government or a pantry. They can't get food from pantries or clothes or whatever the case may be. But you got to remember there's always consequences to your actions. So if you are not ready to deal with a consequence, okay, then you shouldn't be committing a crime. So every time that you walk out your home and you say, I'm going to commit this crime, you have to always have in the back of your mind that you can lose your life or go to jail while committing that crime. Okay? So with that being said, think about your family. I've always used this term. There's some people that got pride and there's some people that got too much pride. Okay? You got some of those that have too much pride. And I say that to say, when you have too much pride, you won't go out and do negative things to harm you because you will look at what people are looking at, what your family is looking at, and how your kids is going to look at you. Okay? You're a reflection of your family. The Bible tells us that the man is the reflection of his household. Okay? Even when we're in a relationship, and if our mate is in a religion, we supposed to follow, okay, as women. Whether y'all know it or not, this is what we supposed to do. Reason being because that man is the head of household. And as long as he's making rational decisions, we are supposed to follow. Okay? Now, if he's not making rational decisions and y'all keep seeing yourselves falling or things are just not going right, then that's when you have to apart yourself from him being that head of household, okay? And do your own thing to get your life in order so you can either find that husband that can lead, okay? Or wait for that man to get it right so he can lead, okay? I'm speaking on this because a lot of this is part of the selling your soul thing, okay? They think when they're submissive to a man, they've sold their soul to the man. No, you're actually doing the work of God because God wanted man to lead. That's why he created us after man, okay? But he also made us bearers, okay? For us to have babies and nurture and care for them the proper way and make the rational decisions that we need to make to take care of these children, okay? Now, we know that the Bible is the Bible, and what goes on in the world today is not what went on in the Bible, okay? The world is a lot different, and we have to see it for what it is, you know what I mean? And if a man is not doing what he's supposed to do, then that's when we have to take stand, and take care of our families. And that's where a lot of the single parents come in at, back a long time ago, you didn't hear too many single parents. It was mainly because and if you did, it's because the husband died, okay? Not because the man just walked out, just didn't want to be bothered, and said, just because I made this family, don't mean I have to stay here and put up with this. And shout out to all the guys and fellas out there that is putting up with it, because making a child is not done by yourself. It's done with two, and a child deserves to have two parents. I've always been a strong believer in a child having two parents, whether it's the actual parent or just someone else that came into their lives and became a good parent. Now, me, I want to use myself for instance. Now, I was in foster care as a child. I was in kinship foster care, and then I went to a couple of foster homes. I went to a pregnancy home because I got pregnant as I got older. But I still lived in a 2-parent household, actually a 3-parent household, because I had my aunt, my uncle, and my cousin. Okay, and they were able to guide me, to teach me how I'm supposed to live, and I was thankful for it, Granted, you don't always have to have your parents be a parent to you, okay? A parent is just a title, okay? What parents do is teach and prepare children for this world, okay? This is what they do, Sometimes it can seem harsh, sometimes it can seem rough, some of the things that we do as parents, but we have no other choice because we have to prepare them to go out in the world. Just like with an animal prepares his babies to go out in the wilderness and live. It's the same with us. We have to prepare our children. We talk about the way our children are being raised today and how they're just being so disrespectful. And granted, yeah, a lot of the government got a lot to do with that, putting in place where we can't discipline our children. And I constantly tell people all the time, there's a difference between discipline and abuse. Is a big difference. Kids have to be disciplined. Because if someone don't stop them, then how do they know they was doing something wrong? But then y'all discipline them and lock them up in a cage. Okay? A judge told me one time, and y'all know my daughter, she stay in trouble. She's just attracted to trouble. The people that she hang with, But anyway, a judge said to me one day, he said, this is in Maryland, and he said, Ms. Richardson, I see that you can't control your daughter. And I said, huh? He said, yeah. She doesn't listen to you. And if you don't control her, we will. And when he said that to me, I said, wow. He ain't put no punches with me either. Like, okay, so she's your daughter, If you can't handle her, we gonna handle her. Believe it, And best to believe they did, And I feel bad that she had to, get in trouble and do time and because he locked her up, and caged her like an animal, But if you don't abide by the rules, this is what happens. You know what I mean? They lock you up like an animal, like you just a wild animal. And it's something for y'all to think about. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm talking about selling your soul. This is selling your soul. When you allowing other people to take control of your life, when all you had to do was follow the rules. Okay? And pretty much, when you read the Bible, it's just rules. They're telling you stories because you need to understand the rules and why things played out the way it played out. I like to talk about my life a lot, because I don't like to pinpoint talk about other people, But when you look at life in a whole, and, everybody goes through things. Nobody's perfect in this world. And this is why Jesus Christ died on the cross for us, because he knew that the way the world was going back then, things was going to be messed up now. And it's getting worse daily, because of the way people think. Everybody is selfish. You can't have children and be selfish. You can't have a husband or a wife and be selfish. It just don't work that way. Yes, you can be selfish and love yourself, and I had to learn that. And I'm going to use me, for instance. I had to learn that. Matter of fact, when I lost my home and I was running from house to house and I didn't know where I wanted to be because, people, they act like they want you there, but in reality, they really don't. They just want whatever you got, either your money or if you got food stamps, if you got a car, whatever you got, they just want that. And that's why they let you, stay at their homes. But in actuality, they really don't want you there. You know what I mean? Whatever they can use you for. And that's some people. That's not everybody. Okay. But that's a lot of people, So I always felt uncomfortable being in other people's lifestyles. Because your home is your sanctuary. That's your lifestyle in your home. You know what I mean? So when you bring somebody else into your home, it violates some of your lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're opening up your life to them. Okay, so things that you used to do and you may not do because, they're there, or, they may not be used to the way you live, so it's uncomfortable, so it's understandable. But where I'm going with this is, when you are around negative people, it'll bring negative to you. So sometimes you can walk, not only can people let negative into their home, okay, you could be walking into negativity that you know nothing about, okay, which will hurt you long term. You know, so if you like to live your life in which I call free, okay, and I don't want to say totally free, because you know ain't nothing really free in this world, but your soul, okay, and your peace, okay, and that's the number one key to life, having peace. And if you walk into someone's home and they're doing things that you knew nothing about, and you get caught up, that's like, okay, I'm gonna use this for instance. You get in a car with somebody, right? And they got drugs and guns on them in the car. You ask them for a ride. And you're like, can I get a ride? And they're like, all right, I'll give you a ride. So now we driving down the road. They got guns and drugs in the car, right? Driving down the road. Cop pull y'all over. Next thing you know, you got policemen with guns in your face because there's drugs in the car. They got the K9 and they smelling the drugs and they saying, well, who drugs is it? Okay, well, it's your car, but it's under this person's seat and you knew nothing about it. So you're caught up in a situation that you know nothing about. People would say that is kind of selling your soul, but it's not, because you knew nothing about it. But how can you prove it? Okay? Where the person could have been fair and say, look, I'm not legal right now. I don't know if you want to ride, and let you make that decision. But some people don't do that, you know? And this is why I'm talking about the way people think today. You know, they just think like, ain't nothing gonna happen. You never know when anything is gonna happen. So you always gotta be ready. I was always taught to be ready because I've been through a lot in my younger age, you know, so I was always taught to be ready for anything and everything. And when you move free, meaning you don't have to worry about the cops coming at you or somebody running up on you, because you haven't done anything for that to happen. Now, unfortunately, we have some unfortunate acts that happen out here that we can't control, because we got a lot of sick people that's sold themselves to the devil, and the devil untold them, kill up all these people or hurt this one or hurt that one, and we don't know who they are. But we have to live in this. So with that being said, it's JJ, Jacqueline Richardson, Deja, Jackie, whatever y'all call me.